So tomorrow I'm off to the cinema to watch the new Masters of the Universe film. And what I wanted to do is just go back to the 1980s and watch the original film, the original Masters of the Universe film, which is what you can see on the screen in the background. And I just want to go over this film. It's a very nostalgic movie for me. So let's get into it. Now, I've got to say right from the top, I'm going to praise this movie like crazy because it's one of those films I grew up with. I do wonder, like, if this film had come out today, what with the new one, would I be as praiseworthy as what I'm about to be with it? But as for the movie itself, let's start with Dolph Lundgren. I think he does a fantastic job as He-Man. Now, some would argue it's not very accurate to how he's portrayed in, say, the cartoon, but for me, his performance is one of the things that really drew me to this movie as a kid. You know, I wanted to be He-Man, I wanted to hang out with He-Man. And then there's Frank Langella playing Skeletor. He is fantastic. I mean, he just eats up the screen. In fact, they're all brilliant in the movie. And there was even characters like Wildor. He's someone that should be very, very irritating, but he has a charm to him. You've got Courtney Cox in this film from Friends. I believe this was her first on-screen role or one of her early ones. She's a good presence on screen. And then you have James Tolkien. James Tolkien is, we know him from, you know, he's sadly passed away now, but he was in Back to the Future. He was Mr. Strickland. And then we had him in Top Gun as well. He was the main colonel or whatever it was in charge on the ship that's barking all the orders out at the start of the film. He's basically the comic relief for this film. I mean, I'm not blind to the fact this is a paint by numbers action film. Like I said, it's a fish out of water story. A lot of films were made in the same mold as this. But as I said, a big reason I like this is because it's the movie I grew up with. So much so that I actually went out and purchased the Blu-ray of this. And I did wonder when I remember going through HMV and I was like, oh, there's the DVD version and the Blu-ray. And I was bugging the staff to try and get the DVD version of it. And then when I realized that this was only like £1 more expensive, I went with this because I had it in my head that I was going to watch the film. And the film is like from like 1987. And I thought I was going to watch it. And the Blu-ray version was going to really show all the cracks and the bad parts of the film. If you ever saw Alien 3 and the way they've cleaned that film up, when you see the alien now, the fact that they've got a puppet and they superimpose it on the screen, it looks really bad. That film benefits from looking more grainy and hiding it in the shadows. And I thought the same thing was going to happen here, but I was pleasantly surprised when I put this Blu-ray on. It actually looked really good. So if you've not checked out the Blu-ray version of it and you're a fan of the 1987 Masters of the Universe, I definitely recommend you go and try it. But one of the things I love most about this movie, the one thing that really gives me the nostalgia vibe, apart from the amazing action, you know, it's got some comedy in it as well, the great performances, is the score. I love the score. It's by Bill Conti. Bill Conti did Karate Kid, amongst many other things. And some would argue that the score is a kind of recycled version of Superman, and they're absolutely right. I mean, you just watch this film back and the opening titles are very much like ripping off Superman. All throughout it, when you hear the music to this swell, it just goes so, it really heightens all the action in this film. As I even just talk about it now, all I can hear in my head is do 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 do, and then they even take it to a kind of a cheesy level where he's playing it on keyboard to get those tones back to recreate it so he can open up the doorway to get back home. Now, I believe this was a somewhat low budget movie. I haven't looked it up. They do make the rather clever choice of showing off Eternia as little as possible. It's one of those things where it just basically becomes a fish out of water story because you're taking the characters from Eternia, He-Man and everybody else and then putting them in the real world. And that's one of the strengths of this movie. I do really like that aspect of it, especially to someone, I did watch the cartoon, but I didn't watch it a lot in depth. So for anyone who's not even familiar with it, it is like a good, I don't want to say jumping on point, but you could watch this movie having never seen anything to do with He-Man, and you know, you can get straight into it. I do like the whole setup of there's the cosmic key, Wildor takes that and they hide it on Earth, and then the bad guys come looking for him. Another thing I want to praise is the rest of the villains in the story. I mean, I love the fact that it's got like a rip-off of Star Wars in this as well. There's like a load of henchmen, troopers, and they're basically stormtroopers from Star Wars. And I remember watching that as a kid and thinking, oh wow, look at them, they look so cool. And then they're backed up by these specialist baddies. You got Blade, I thought he was awesome the first moment I saw him. Then there's Beast Man. Let me know in the comments, was Beast Man in the original cartoon? I cannot remember, but he looks really cool and menacing here. Then you've got Karg and Sarad. I think I've said that guy's name right. He's the lizard guy. And I think I bought figures of these as well. And I was sort of a bit bummed out when Sarad got killed. They go on a mission, they fail, they come back to regroup, and Skeletor gives them the third degree and decides to, like, say, well, I'm just going to execute one of you guys. And he decides to take out the lizard guy. And I thought he was so cool. I never liked Karg. It's the makeup, the costume, the way he speaks. I know he's kind of like the leader of the group, and I was just like, yeah, just kill that guy. I don't really like him, but I always remember having that memory in childhood, like, why didn't that happen? I should give a shout out also to another villain, and that's Evil Lynn. I think she's played very well. I like the moment where she tricks Courtney Cox's character to give up the key by pretending to be her mum. I didn't really talk about the negatives of Masters Universe. To be honest, I can't really find any. And it's not to say that this is a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, but for what this film is supposed to be, I think it just ticks all the boxes. Yes, it's very cheesy. Some of the effects are a little bit low budget. When they're doing the little hoverboards, that can look a little bit outdated for sure. Even back then, I think it looked a little out of place. That was one of the things I thought was going to look horrendous when I watched the Blu-ray, but it actually looked quite good. So to sum it up, I still really enjoy this film. It's a really good fun time. I love the way they've got the nice balance of the action, the comedy, the music, everything. It's just sort of perfect for me for what this type of film should be. So now I'm going to kind of end this video by just talking about some thoughts to do with the new Masters Universe. You know, I've seen the trailer. I had one review liking it to, it's a little bit like Thor Ragnarok. I did watch that film. I'm not actually a big Marvel guy, but I did actually end up liking Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, it probably played itself a bit too much for laughs. So it was hard to really get into the story. It does look like it really does lean into the comedy. And when I did see it in the trailer, it did actually make me laugh. I guess it comes down to what you really are looking for the movie that's coming up. Will it beat this one? Who knows? I think it's going to be a very different type of movie. For a start, I should imagine they'll spend more time on Eternia. It's probably going to be a bit more faithful to the characters. Knowing that this is a remake, you know, I'm going to go in there with different expectations, and you know, I'm just going to be up for a good fun time. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know in the comments below, are you going to be watching the new Masters of the Universe film? And would you like to see more videos like this one where I go over old films? And I will follow this video up with my review once I've watched the new movie. As always, guys, if you made it this far in the video, leave us a like and subscribe, and check out my other playlists, which include movie reviews, movie locations, movie attractions, and lots more. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.